y'all, so I'm Miss Stacy. Welcome to Stacy's Homestead, and here's part 2 for our medicine cabinet. Hey y'all, so today we're going to be talking about medicines and the necessary things that I need to keep in my cabinet that I could not live without. And I'm not a doctor. I don't pretend to be a doctor. This is all my own research, and you need to do your due diligence and your own research. This is what I do. I'm not advising you to do anything. This is how I take care of myself and my family. So, you go to a doctor when you are sick. That's what I say. If you, I'm not advising you not to do anything. Go see a veterinarian for your animals. Go to a doctor. But this is what I do when you can't do that. So let's get to salt. My mom taught me that it's a good blood clotter. So if you cut yourself really deep, pour salt on it and it'll clot it. It works. And salt, Himalaya salt, specifically sea salt, mimics your blood's chemistry. It's interesting. Salt water, sea salt water, actually mimics your blood's chemistry. So I thought that was an interesting fact. But pour it on your wound and it'll stop the bleeding. If you are like bleeding profusely, because fingers and head wounds bleed a lot from the blood pressure. So it'll help slow it down. It works every single time. It doesn't sting. Alcohol stings. Salt doesn't. And again, salt won't kill. Won't kill the good bacteria. It only kills the bad. So also with the salt, it's really good to gargle with. So you would gargle with some hot water and salt, and that helps the sore throat too and kills the germs. And rinse your mouth out with hot salt water. It's good for that type of bacteria infections. And then you can gargle with hydrogen peroxide as well, diluted in water. So things I keep. So we have fish mox amoxicillin, fish mox penicillin, bird zithromax. This is your Z-Pack. These things work, and they're the exact same thing as your prescriptions. How do I know? Because every pill by law, every single pill by law has to have an identification number on it. Why? Because poison control needs to know what you took just in case of overdose of anything, right? So you have to be able to give them that pill number, and so here you go. There's different manufacturers have different color pills and different numbers, but if you look up the number online, I don't know if you can see that. Let's see. If you look up this number on pill identifier online on any of these, it's going to tell you amoxicillin, penicillin, zithromax. They all are made from the same laboratory. They don't just have a specific little laboratory for fish, amoxicillin. Oh, we only make amoxicillin specifically for fish. Oh, they don't do that. We don't have manufacturer facilities specifically for those things. You have drug manufacturer companies that just do mass drug production, and then they're just distributed and labeled and packaged differently. But they all have to have the same exact. They're all the same. They have to have the same exact pill identifier on there, because you need to be able to, by law, identify what kind of pills we're taking. So anyways, I've used them. They work. My mom, when I was little, used to, I never went to the doctor. I never, ever went to the doctor. We didn't have health insurance. So, my mom would have her friend go to Mexico and bring back penicillin. She would always keep penicillin in her cupboard. You just have to be responsible And only take it when it's absolutely necessary. And there's only 2 reasons why I would take this: strep throat and bladder infections or kidney infections. That is it. Those are only two things you would ever take this stuff for. Or infection, like wound infection. So, and then when you take it, you have to take it for the prescribed amount of time. Get yourself a nurse's medical book. That's what I have. I'll show you. A good thing to have is this. If you're gonna buy stuff like this, you need to be responsible and know how to use it. Even for simple stuff like that. I've read this whole thing. Get one of these, okay? It's a drug guide. It tells you exactly how to use it, the prescribed amount of time, everything. So there's all kinds of different things you can stock up on when it comes to, go to fishmox.com. It's fishmox something. You can get these things. Right now it's hard to get because you have things closing, so it's better to get it now than before. Like, they're taking them off shelves now because they're catching on that people are buying this. So it'll say not for human consumption. Don't worry about that crap. So it's good to have other reasons. My one of my dogs got cat scratched on the eye. You know, vet bills are super expensive, and if you can handle it at home, that's, I think, is way better, and it's less traumatic for your animal. I do have a vet that comes to my house she does home visits, and I have consulted her, so and she knows what I do. So if it's like something that gets out of hand and I'm not handling it, she comes, but it's never had to happen. Never ever ever had to happen, because she knows I'm educated and she knows what I'm doing, that I know what I'm doing. So anyways, he got cat scratched in his eye. He looked like a zombie dog. His eye was like hanging open. I was like, what in the world happened to you? So you look up the amount, because dogs are different. They can't take human doses. But so I didn't do penicillin, I did amoxicillin. So you do it by weight of your dog. You can find the information on the internet. You open the pill up, mix it in with like coconut oil or like cheese or something that'll you can mix it in, and then they'll eat. So I did it twice a day. I opened the pill up. My dog was a huge dog, and I did less than half a pill. So I did it into thirds. I did 1 pill into thirds. So just twice a day, and it got rid of the infection on this cat scratched eye. And then I'll put a picture of my dog Roxy, of one of her injuries. I'll see if I could slide that in somewhere. But so she was running, the girl dog, she was running in, we have cow panels. You know, cow panels have sharp ends. And she was running and caught her skin, ripped her skin open on that cow panel. And it was in the evening, and like her, so animal skin, if you've ever skinned an animal, the fur or their fur coat is not attached. So once it's ripped, it like just droops open. So it's not attached to this. It's just like a blanket. It's just a blanket over it. It's not really attached. So if you get a slit, it doesn't stay a slit. It goes like that. So it was pretty bad. So right away, I can. I'll have to show you. I can jars of water, distill, and I distill it, like I disinfect it, and then you put a rag in it, and so you have clean water that's canned. And so you just can water with a rag in it, and there you have your clean water. So anyways, I opened up one of those cans, and before I flushed it, because there was dirt on it, I put Neosporin in the crack, because I didn't want to flush the dirt, because it can get under the skin. You don't want that dirt getting under the skin, like the coat. Because remember, I told you it's not attached. You can get under that coat. So, I opened the flap up carefully, put Neosporin right there, and then washed it off so it wouldn't go in under, and keep it pinched while I washed it. And then made sure, and then after I washed it off, then I did a flush under the flap. Anyways, I have, this is one of these essential items. So I started giving her penicillin right away. Okay, let's get done with the penicillin. I did the same thing with her, cut it into thirds, twice a day only. Right away gave her that, because what the most important thing was to do was to keep infection away. And so some people will super glue. Super glue is a good thing. They have the 3M skin glue, but certain areas it's not going to work. Super glue is not going to work. What I did is I keep this on hand. So this is another one of those things. It's a must-have, and thank goodness I had this. Because when I called the vet, she said it was going to be an emergency call, because she comes to my house usually, and it would be probably about $600 for the minimum for her to come out. And she said that she would have to do a flush and drain, and she would have to, it would probably cost me between $600 to $1,000. And I was like, you know what, girl, let me just try this first. And she said, okay, because it was like, it was, you know, 8 o'clock at night when I called her. And so I have a staple, a medical staple thing. And it comes with 55 staples, preloaded staples. And then you have to buy a staple remover as well. So I cleaned her real well, started giving her that penicillin, flushed out her wound, and stapled her up. Now I'll insert a picture, maybe if it'll go right there, who knows, I don't have to figure out how to do that. And it worked, it healed right up. She didn't have any infection or anything, so there you go. The penicillin cost me 30 bucks, the stapler cost me maybe 20 to $30. And so let's say $50 worth of items saved my dog and saved me money, $1,000 vet bill, right? So it's good to have a stapler on hand. And then also I have a stitching kit, and it has a practice thing in here, which is cool. You practice. And I know how to do a simple interrupted stitch. That's what it's called. It's called a simple interrupted. It has a practice thing right here. Just don't want to get it out, so I'll show you. Let me show you. That's pretty cool. Sit here and you practice how to do stitches. It's good to know these things. So the simple interrupted stitch is what you want to do, and then it has different types of, it mimics skin. It's really cool, and you practice on this. And then it comes with stitches. Now I have dissolvable stitches I bought separately. But it comes with stitches that you can practice with. And these are ones that would have to be removed if you use these stitches. And it has all the tools you would need. But if you use those stitches that aren't dissolvable, you have to make sure you remove them. But I did buy dissolvable ones, and now there's two different kinds. They have the cat gut, which is not shelf stable for long. You know, you can only keep it in the shelf maybe 6 months, cat gut. They used to make it out of cat guts. So, and then there's one that is more shelf stable. So I got the more shelf stable one. I forget what it's called, but yeah. And then they have different size hooks and stuff. So I have that, haven't had to use it yet. The staple is much easier to keep on hand. All right, so iodine. You need to have iodine, and this is J. Crow's Lugol's solution, 2%. And what you do This one's not open. I don't want to open it. But I have one that's opened. The dropper dries up. Like, this dropper doesn't work anymore. So I don't know what the iodine does something to it. So I can't use the dropper. But your skin is your biggest organ, and it absorbs everything you would need. Magnesium, like so Epsom salts and stuff, or magnesium salts. Your skin will absorb what it needs. So iodine, I put on my skin and drops, and then if it disappears super fast, you add more, because that means your body really needed it and you're depleted. And this is for your thyroid. And then if it disappears really, really slow, that means you're good. And I do this maybe once a week. And it's also good to keep on hand for radiation poisoning. So you can buy pills that you would take, but let's say we have a bomb or something and you have radiation warnings. You want to take this because your thyroid doesn't know the difference between the iodine something it would get from the radiation or from what it really needs. And so if you just take this first, then your thyroid's not going to absorb that radiation because it already has what it needs. You get me? So there's that. And then let's talk. There's one more thing. So here's this. This is boric acid. Boric acid. Okay? And I mainly have this for conjunctivitis. Conjunctivitis. Or eye fungus. It gets rid of it. Pink eye gets rid of it. It's also in suppositories for yeast infections for women. So I have the instructions on here because I would forget if I didn't write it down. So as an eye wash, I have 1 teaspoon to every 4 ounces of water for a serious infection. That's what it says. A mild infection, I have a 1/4 teaspoon to 2 cups of water. Just an eye wash is 1/8 teaspoon to a cup of water. So I tend to just go in the middle and do the mild infection. And I wrote, and you would look this up, look it up for yourself to verify, trust but verify. But for mild infection, it's a 1/4 teaspoon to 2 cups of water. And you would keep it in a little drop it in your eye, and it works. It really works. I've tried it on myself. I always try everything on myself before I try it on my kids. But that works. And then what also works is, and I did this on my dog's cat scratch eye because I didn't have this at the time. Along with the penicillin is you get a bowl of water, you boil a little cup of water. You put green tea in that cup of water. Then you put honey, and then you put your turmeric. And that mixture and put it in your eye will it's all antimicrobial. Oh, and honey, sorry, you add honey to it. So it's green tea, turmeric, honey in the little cup of water, and you can use a tea bag or a cotton swab and swab the eyes, and that will get rid of it. That gets rid of eye infections too. So if you don't have this, try that. But this is like for more serious things. But it works. I've used it on myself. I used it on my daughter. I've used it on my son. It totally works. So, and then, hydrogen peroxide. Another thing that's good to have on hand besides cleaning wounds, it eats blood. So if you have a blood stain on your shirt or anywhere, you pour it on and it gets rid of it. It eats the blood up. For those of you on your menstrual cycle, this eats the blood off. So also, if your dog, one of my dogs, years and years ago as a puppy, we just moved into this house, and the people that lived here left poison oats out for the squirrels. I didn't know it, and then my dog ate it, and I found it, thank goodness, it was within an hour before it got into his digestive system. It was still in his stomach, and I found it with a bag, and I was like, oh crap, I didn't know this was here. So I ran and got the hydrogen peroxide because this is what my mom taught me. You fill up a plunger, so it's always good to have those plunging things, you know, medicine plungers for like children, that you plunge it in their mouth. Fill up a plunger with peroxide and you squirt it down your dog's throat. It'll make them throw up instantly. It's better than Ipecac syrup. It makes the dog, it fizzes in them, makes them throw up. So I did it to him twice, and he threw up all that food, all the oats. And I did it the first time he threw everything up, and I did it again. He threw everything up until I saw just regular dog food without the oats. And then activated charcoal, you give it to him. So an activated charcoal is good for food poisoning too yourself. If you have food poisoning, take activated charcoal and it'll help absorb those toxins. It's good to have on hand. And so we're talking about the stomach now. All right, we got hydrochloric acid. Do you know that most people with heartburn, they take those stupid antacid pills, and it's not too much acid. So as you age, and I had this problem, that's why I know. As you age, you lose stomach acid, because when you throw up, you're throwing up stomach acid. You lose it, and you have a hard time remaking the stomach acid. And then also, you can lose bile too, and so it's good to get bile salts, but that's not, I'm trying to say what you need now. So, stomach acid. A baby has more stomach acid than an adult does. So it's not too much stomach acid, and you taking those Tums is making the problem worse. It's not going to get better. And 99%, or let's say 98% of people listen to the doctors, and they start taking those antacid medications, which is gonna make the problem worse because it's decreasing your acid so you don't feel it. So what you have in your throat is you have a sphincter. It's called a sphincter. The shut on and off things from your throat to your stomach. And that sphincter, which you have several spots throughout your digestive system of sphincters. It's getting stuck open. And the reason why it's getting stuck open is because you don't have enough acid. And that's why you're feeling the acid reflux. So you take in those proton pump inhibitors, that's what they're called, are just decreasing your stomach acid, and it's going to make the problem worse because it's going to make you not be able to digest your food properly, and then you're going to get bad health, and then digestion is your key to being healthy. If you can't digest your food right and break it down, and then you can't absorb the nutrients that your body needs. So, emergency thing, yes, I say have hydrochloric acid. This is what you take, okay? It took me a year of taking this to regain my acid in my stomach. So as you age, you lose the ability, you lose stomach acid, and then that sphincter closes when it senses acid. So that's, it remains open when it's lack of acid. So when you're taking those proton pump inhibitors, your sphincter is just staying open, and you risk the chance of it splashing back up in your throat. You have to increase the acid. And the best thing about this is that your body reuses the acid over and over and over again. So you won't have to take this forever. It's one of those things you just need to help your body regain once in a while. So once you have enough acid in your stomach, that sphincter senses it and it closes, and there you go. Bob, you don't have acid reflux anymore. What do you know? And it works. So for me, so for you to know how much you need to take, start off with 2 pills, and you've got to make sure you swallow them because it dissolves. You'll feel the acid in your throat. You got to make sure it's in your stomach and take it with food. But the first time you do it to know is how much you need is you take 2 of them and you drink it really good. Make sure it's out of your esophagus, and then you'll feel like a warming sensation in your stomach. Once you feel that warming sensation, you know that's how much you need. So normally, so you could take 1 pill, and then if you don't feel that warming sensation, then take 3. And then you're doing this on an empty stomach. And you'll know if you take too much, because you'll feel it. It's temporary, but it'll go away. And then, you know, the next time just take a little less. But for me, it was 2 pills in the morning before my coffee, 2 pills with my food, and if I ate a lot of food, then it's 3 pills. And I did that for a year, and my heartburn went away instantly. But I kept on doing it for a year to build up that hydrochloric acid that your stomach needs. And now I don't have to take it anymore, but once in a great while to replenish. And I have no heartburn, and I suffered heartburn for at least 3 years. I was getting heartburn like all the time, no matter what. And it's not the spicy food, and it's not, you know, like drinking alcohol is not the hot dogs. It's not that. It's hydrochloric acid, and it's so simple. It's stupid, really. But drug companies want to make money, and so you have to slowly wean yourself. If you're on proton pump inhibitors, get off of them and start doing this. You gotta slowly wean yourself, though. Do your research, look it up, and you'll find all the information that you need. But start off with a couple pills, and if you still have heartburn, take 3 until it goes away. If you take too much, you'll know it. You'll feel it, and that feeling of burning will temporarily go away. So that's what I have to say on hydrochloric acid. Don't be taking the stupid Tums or the proton pump inhibitors. It's going to just jack your digestion up, and your health will decline. It'll just, because this helps you break down your nutrients. And you'll stay healthy once you are able to absorb nutrients, right? Your gut is your first line of defense. Your gut is your body's health. It's your first brain. All right, that's my spiel on that. Apple cider vinegar also helps in your stomach. So I would just take this for medicinal purposes, not for heartburn. But you can if you want, but it's just not going to work out. Okay, one more thing. We're going to talk about sicknesses, illnesses, things I give my kids just for the common cold. Sore throats, peppermint stick. So this really makes your sore throat feel good. It's like a peppermint stick. I don't like those little round lozenge ones. I'm scared they'll get stuck in their throat. But a peppermint stick, really, really good to keep on hand for sore throats. Then I have my ferment here. This is garlic, pepper, cayenne pepper, pepper flakes, ginger, and honey fermented. And this is so good. Cayenne pepper numbs the throat, and the honey makes the cayenne pepper stick to the throat. And the garlic, these are big garlics, so you have to chew it. But this is just really good. And they say 4 garlics equals 1 penicillin. So if you don't want to be taking penicillin, then I would do fermented garlic, or this honey fermented garlic. 4 garlics equals a penicillin. That's what they say. So just, you have to take it a lot, though, because with medicinal herbs, you know, food's your medicine, but it takes a lot more of those, like a lot more than if you were just to take Western medicine. So you would have to do garlic like 4 garlics every 30 minutes for like the first day to get the benefits from that. So, oh, I forgot about the apple cider vinegar. Now, I put this in all my animal water and stuff too. But mainly my male cat, he has urinary problems, and so they don't tell you that when you fix a male cat, it makes the urethra like change, and they get stones stuck. It's a huge problem, and so most people take him to the vet. Well, I've never done that. I told my vet, and she's like, well, usually we have medication for that. And I said, well, you know what I've been doing? I've been giving him apple cider vinegar a little bit in his food, because they won't eat it in their water. They won't drink it in their water. In his food, and it keeps the stones from coming away. So he was like, he couldn't go to the bathroom, and his bladder was so big, I actually had to help like express the urine out. But I forced diluted apple cider vinegar down his throat when that first happened, and he was able to pass the stone and go to the bathroom. And every time we lag on this, it acts right back up. Or if you give cats too much dry food, you know, most cats don't drink much water, and they get most of their water from their wet food. So you used to give them male cats, especially just dry food, they're gonna have problems. So I can't give him dry food by itself. I have to get it wet with apple cider vinegar, but we usually use wet food. But every day, just a little capful in his food. And the girl, I have a girl, she doesn't need it, but it's always good for you. But it keeps those stones away, and so that's that. But anyways, back to the health. I have tonic. It's called fire cider, but I call it tonic. And so what you do is you ferment horseradish, onions, jalapenos, cinnamon sticks. What else is in there? A lot of horseradish, a lot of onions, a lot of jalapenos, a lot of cinnamon stick, and you pour apple cider vinegar over the top with some water, and sometimes I put a little lemon in it, and you let it ferment on the counter for like, I let it ferment for like up to 8 months. It just sat there and fermented, and then I decanted it, and this is what's left. And it's a spicy apple cider tonic that you drink. And anytime my kids are sick, I can make them take the tonic, and it's good for all ailments. So you start feeling sick, take a shot of this. And then I saved all the stuff, the horseradish and the jalapenos and the onions. I wonder if I'm missing something. I saved those, and I ground them up, and I have it in a powder, and I'll also put those in like my homemade ketchup and stuff, and I put it in pills also and swallow it. That's good stuff. Alright, so if you don't have this, then you can just take cayenne pepper and honey. And if your kids won't take the garlic, it gives it a weird flavor. But cayenne pepper and honey, put it on the sore throat, and it'll make it where it's not sore. It really works. It relieves that soreness. And then, but I do add like even ground up garlic that you get from the store. You know, your big buckets of the mixed garlic. You add it in there and stir it, and then that way it's easier to swallow instead of chewing these big old things. So there's that for sore throats. That's all my sore throat stuff. Oh, and then we have, this is a lemon honey ferment. So you put this with their hot tea, it's really good. And I just did this the other day with, like a month ago. So it's been fermenting for about a month. It's almost done. And then I'll probably decant it. I don't know, it smells really good. It's bubbling good here. There we go. Gotta bubble it. And that's really good to put in hot teas and stuff. I have a lot more things, but this is what I would not be able to live without. We're only doing not be able to live without stuff. I have a lot of herbs and things I do with Asian teas or Japanese teas, Chinese teas. So this is an elderberry extract. So this has vodka and glycerin in it and elderberries. So this is an extract. You would take a teaspoon of this. This is strong stuff when you're sick. But then you have your elderberry syrup, which is a cup of elderberry boiled in water, and probably, you know, maybe a few cups of water. You have to look it up. Just going off the top of my head, a few cups of water with some honey, and then you strain it, and then you put it in a jar, and you take it every day as a preventative. It's really good for you. So that is all the things I feel I need and I can't live without in my cabinets. All the necessary health items. So, oh, there's one more, Moringa. So we got Moringa, and Moringa is just a good overall powder. It has a lot of vitamin C. Start feeling bad, take Moringa. Vitamin C, potassium, iron, zinc. It has all those micronutrients that your body needs. So Moringa. But that's all for my must-haves in my medicine cabinet. And we'll just talk to y'all later. Bye-bye.